Cathedral Square in the southern city of New Zealand, Christchurch, home to the 2016 World Bowls Championships. And we've already had one final today, the women's fours, and it's the green and gold of Australia, skipped by Natasha Scott, who were completely dominant against England, winning 23-6 at the end of the 16th end. And they are world champions here in 2016 at the Burnside Bowling Club, where yet again, or just continue, should we say, the weather is pristine, blue skies and sunshine, and the greens are in fine nick for these 2016 World Bowls Champs. Of course, one of 4 clubs that have been participated in pool play as well. But this is where the finals action is happening. Hello, folks. Stephen McIver going around the world, wherever you're watching through Fox Sport or streaming. This is the World Bowls Championships of 2016. And coming up next, it is the men's triples. But just confirming you what happened earlier today, 23-8, the final scored, and it all started right from the opening end when Natasha Scott drove when they were 4 down, and they picked a one point up, and away they went, and they were just literally unstoppable, the Australian women. And now it's Australia, England again. Yes, this mini Ashes today on finals day number 1 in Christchurch. It will be the men's triples, Australia versus England. Welcome to 2016's World Bowls Championships here at the Burnside Bowling Club, and the second final for the day, the men's triples final. And let's meet the teams. First of all, from Australia, the lead, Barry Lester. At number 2, it's Mark Casey. And finally, the skip, yes, the Sheriff's in town, Aaron Sheriff. And they will face England. They are led by Jamie Walker. At number 2, Andy Napper. And their skip, Robert Paxton.
It's looking absolutely fantastic here at Burnside, and we have had a great morning of play, and now we're setting up for this final, the men's triple. And these two teams have deservedly got into the final. They've had some great results throughout the competition, the first week of competition. And this, we can see Australia against England. We see how New Zealand and Australia battled it out in the semi-final, with Australia winning by 18-10 after they'd beaten Scotland in a close match. Scotland, of course, have played and won this event the last 3 years. Japan and England played in the semi-final of the other pool after Japan had beaten Ireland 16-15, and it was England winning that by 18-9. So it turns out that Australia and England will play in this final, and throughout pool play they were both very, very impressive.
Yes, it was England who established a very early lead in their games in the pool play. They won their first 8 games, and then they had probably an insignificant loss in their last round. They had the top position secured at that stage, and they did lose to Brunei in that game. Australia had a little bit of a battle on the way through. They finished second in the section, and they had the 1 loss, a draw, and 7 wins. So coming through, they had to go through to the playoff position, as mentioned there, and up against Scotland. It's a very, very good combination from Scotland, but Australia prevailed in the end, coming through to play New Zealand in that semi-final.
Just chatting with one of the England officials, John Bell, before, and he said, well, it's been great for the England team. They've been playing so well, and yet none of them have played in New Zealand conditions before. They've never been into a World Championship final. And so it's all new to them, and they're not at all worried about the ends, the length of ends they play. They're not worried if it's short or long. They're quite comfortable. So it's a team that's going out in good form, but also aware of how strong Australia is at the moment and always is. But for Australia, incidentally, Terry, I think Stephen McIver might have mentioned earlier, they haven't won this title since 1966. So there's a wee bit at stake here, isn't there?
Yeah, I was actually surprised to see that, and had to really go back and have a check to make sure that he was right. But certainly so, because they've certainly put up some formidable combinations in the World Championship. And today, with Aaron Sheriff leading the charge, who I rate as one of the best bowlers around, he certainly is outstanding. But he's got some great players with him, and of course Mark Casey. We just see Barry Lester there, and he's very outstanding off the front. But Mark Casey playing in the middle of this combination. It's his last time that he's playing for Australia. This is his last event as a Bowls Australia representative.
All right, and of course skipping that team is Aaron Sheriff, and Stephen McIver caught up with Aaron just prior to the start of the warm-up.
Aaron, let's talk a positive. How much motivation do you take from the performance of the women's fours?
They've been incredible. 1 and 3 of the first 4 rounds, and a couple of positional changes, and they've relished as a team, and yeah, they're looking pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, talk to us about changing a team like mid-stride like that. Is that difficult for teams to adjust? Obviously not for the girls, but...
Yeah, no, I think, we've got, with the girls' side, so much class and quality that they can play all positions. They all skip and play different spots at home. So, it's just about, getting together and winning a world title. That's what it's all about in the end.
Which is what you guys want to know. The triple has been a long time. I think it's 1966 since Australia won a men's triples. Have you thought about that?
No, that's the first I've heard of it. So, looking forward to getting out there. This is the last time that Mark Casey and myself will get to play together as he retires at the end of this event. So, looking to go out with a bang.
Is there no shortage of motivation? We spoke to Rob Paxton, the opposite skip, about the ends, and they've been playing short ends, so there'll be no tactical trying to outsmart them today.
No. Look, finals they're always interesting. We're just going out there to play our best, and I think that can be good enough.
You sound confident, are you?
Yeah, I've got 2 great guys in front of me. The form's good, so looking forward to getting out there and putting on a good show.
Every reason to feel confident too, because we've seen Australia over the years in all forms of the game, singles through to fours. They never lack confidence, and that's justified because their form going through these events, even away from their home country, has been superb. They've got an outstanding record, and so it is rather surprising to learn that it was 1966 that they last won this, with Don Collins, Ethel Johnson and John Dobby as the Australian team. This man here, there's Aaron Sheriff, but Mark Casey, Mark Casey, his last game. And he's been an outstanding performer for Australia. So there's always a little bit to play for. We're just watching the warm-up ends. They have 15 minutes in which to send down. Normally a couple of ends, they'll send down a few bowls and just get a gauge of perhaps what hand suits them more than the other. But at this standard, they'll practice probably each side and just get a feel for a Terry Ohm. So now we're just kicking the bowls away. Bowlers continuing to send them down. We've got just a few minutes to go before we start. Now let's rejoin Stephen McIver.
Good finish to the week. You're in the final, and the team's rolling well.
Yeah, it's gone well. So he started a massive day on the first day in the triples, coming unbeaten with a good win against Scotland in the last game, which set us up for the tournament, really.
We've noticed in the women's four that the women struggling with length and the Aussies playing shorter ends. Is that something that concerns you?
No, not at all. We've actually been going short most of the time, actually, through the tournament. So we're happy in all lengths. The way we're playing at the moment, we're confident.
That sounds very confident indeed. What's the mix? What's the secret to the mix at the moment?
Just getting on and just basically chucking bowls close, which is the end of the story. Is what you've got to do. If we do that today, we've got a good shout coming away with the gold.
No, you're up against it, though, against the Australians?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're a great bunch of players. They're experienced. They're better used to these conditions than we are. But, say, you're out there, 2 bowls each, 6 bowls a team, and anybody can win on the day.
So it's just adapt and get on with it.
Absolutely, that's all it is, down to whoever plays the best bowls on the day, basically.
Yes, not much else you can say, really. They have earned their position in this final. They've beaten some very good teams, and they've been very, very impressive. That's the England team. Robert Paxton is their skip. Andy Napper will play at 2. And Jamie Walker, the 24-year-old, has been leading throughout and leading very well. And I'm sure that'll be reinforced from our next guest, who is with Stephen McIver right now.
Yes, not afraid to show his colours as World Bowls President John Bell, himself a double gold medalist in the World Championship some time ago, but you must be very confident. Colours are on for the old country.
Yes, I'm very delighted with the way that our lads have performed. The conditions over here are completely alien to what we used to in the UK. The greens are a lot faster, the wind affects it a lot more, but my 3 lads have adapted really, really well. They won 8 out of the 9 section games and won the semi-final handsomely yesterday. We're very pleased.
Does it surprise you that they have adapted so well to these conditions, and does that give you faith and confidence in the way they're going to roll today in the final?
Well, they're very talented bowlers, and they're very experienced in nationals and competitive bowls back in the UK. This is the first World Championships, but they've really applied themselves. They get on very well, and they play the same game together. You know, there's no disputes on what type of. We've got a game plan that we're sticking to, and they're doing really well. They're up against it today, obviously, because the Australians are used to these sort of conditions. They're experienced, medal winners, but we're going to have a go.
We'd like to hear that. Just briefly, from your position as World Bowls President, what have you made of the week?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, we've had 30, most pleasing part is there's 34 nations here, this World Championships. And that's because largely because we changed the qualifying criteria to disciplines as opposed to teams, and that's helped. But more importantly, I think the smaller nations have had some really good results, and that shows that the World Games healthy, and it's good for us as World Bowls.
And the weather's fine, so it was a bonus. John, a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
John Bell, the president of Bowls, the new World Bowls, should I say, and also obviously right behind the English team who face the Australians now in the men's triples final live. Enjoy it.
Yes, John Bell winning gold medals in the fours in 1984 and 96 at World Bowls. Very well known and popular man around bowl circles. The men's triple final is about to start. It's at the Burnside Bowling Club in Christchurch on a splendid afternoon. It's a bit breezy, but it's warm and pleasant. And the two teams are Australia and England. The England team will be skipped by Robert Paxton. The two will be Andy Napper, and the lead will be Jamie Walker, who's about to take to the mat right now. And for Australia, it's Barry Lester lead, Mark Casey at 2, and Aaron Sheriff is the skip. And Terry Scott, it's these two teams have really deserved to be here, don't they? England's performance of just losing one match throughout indicates that they're on form, and whether they're accustomed to these conditions or not, they've produced the goods, haven't they?
Yeah, certainly so, John. They've recording those 8 wins. Their first 8 games that they played in the tournament, they won them all. And as I said, that loss that they had at the end to Brunei, but when you see them coming through, and they then played against Ireland, which I think they recorded a very good win there, taking that out by 18-9, they certainly proved that they are in contention for the top middle here. And we've just seen the first couple of opening bowls from the leads. The leads are each player having 2 bowls, so a total of 6 bowls per team, and they play 18 ends. So the opening bowls here from both the leads, Jamie Walker and Barry Lester, fairly adjacent to the jack, and we see the second one coming down now from Walker, and that's a couple of fantastic opening bowls.
Well, we've seen one match already today. It was the women's fours final between the same two countries, actually, England and Australia, and they're bowling towards this direction. We constantly saw closer bowls than we did going the other way, so we'll just watch and see whether the same transpires in this match, whether the players find it more difficult going the other way, where the wind does tend to swirl a wee bit off the clubhouse, which is situated down there.
Yeah, generally, those closer bowls are on this side of the rink.
Yeah. Top bowl there from Barry Lester, 34-year-old from the Mulgrave Country Club in Melbourne. Andy Napper came into the team. Good. England made a change early in the tournament. Jamie Walker was the lead and Robert Paxton the skip, but Andy Napper has now come into 2.
Hold a little longer, mate.
You stand by for a bit of fireworks in this match too, because all these players are keen and open about showing their emotions and support for good bowls, and they'll get into each other supportively.
Yes, it was just interesting, wasn't it, in the lead-up interviews, the confidence that was displayed by both of the skips. They didn't shy off rating their chances in taking out this medal, the gold medal here, and which is great. So I'm sure we're in for a great competition here.
Oh, I think so. You get that feeling. And it's added a bit of spice because the man bowling now, Mark Casey, who's played a lot for Australia and had great success. He's announced that he's out now, finished after this.
Yes, Mark, of course, involved in with Bowls Australia and management of their events, and he's got a big task coming up in looking after the Commonwealth Games, the bowls which are going to be played on the Gold Coast in 2018, the Commonwealth Games. So Mark's going to be the man that's looking after that. So can't combine it with his competitive bowls, but he's been an absolutely fantastic servant to Australian bowls.
So if you look at the bowls, when we next see the head, you'll notice that one lot of bowls have the blue label on, or disc. The other has the red. The blue belong to England.
Steady in, mate. Steady in. Steady
It's
in,
a
Rob.
quite quick match this. They don't mess around, any of these male players. They tend to be up on the mat and delivering straight away, particularly this man, Aaron Sheriff. Sometimes you blink and his bowler's already halfway down. Bowls not quite as psychedelic as they were in the Trans-Tasman series here a few months ago. So great weight by practically all of them there.
Gee, it's a great opening end, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've got one blue disc, which is down there at about 5 o'clock as we view it. That belongs to England. Holding shot. First end. Second bowl coming from Robert Paxton. Backhand is the favoured hand at the moment.
Come on, buddy. Come back out. Last bit. Last bit, mate. Run. Hurry. Go. Run. Go. Great effort, mate. Any more?
Oh.
Well done. Good. Well done, mate.
Yes, well, definitely the one shot to England. The bowl below the jack. Certainly, I think Aaron Sheriff might look at playing with some weight. Just the indication there from Mark Casey, play right through that. So they've got enough bowls around Australia. They've got the bowl on the right-hand side, the red disc we can see sitting on top of it, and the coloured bowl, the green and yellow bowl on the left-hand side are both Australian bowls. So
you can see what he is indicating. Hitting that shorter one that's about a foot short of the bowl, the jack, hitting that square, it'll take out the two behind it as well, and they'll still have shot if it works perfectly. So he will play with a bit of weight, do you think?
that's the key at the end of the day if it works perfectly, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
But on the mat, he is certainly playing with some weight, is he? Well, perhaps not a lot. Well, I'm surprised that he then changed his hand.
He's going to swing across, I think, yes. He might just step back now and say, I should have played with weight. But there's just two in it to England. So they start two against Australia. This is a men's triples final. And there's our marker there, Kate Bassett from the Burnside Bowling Club in Christchurch, the local club. And she will be holding up the lollipops throughout each end and also at the end to indicate the situation or the outcome.
Yes, I was just a little bit surprised that Aaron Sheriff didn't play with more weight. He was two down. His third shots were one each side of the head. He weighed up the option, I suppose, as if he was going to kill the end or the jack went back. He may not have been any better off. So England have delivered the jack and it's gone into the end ditch. So that then gives the right to Australia to have a turn at delivering and dictating the length of end. Australian girls, of course, who won the gold medal this morning, now lending their support to their male counterparts.
You mean the Australian women, Terry? Got to get this. It's sexist now to call them girls. You've got to call them women. So would you repeat that, please? The Australian. Come on, Terry. Come on.
The first bowl from Leicester on the second end.
Well, these boys are going well, Terry, aren't they? Walker looking to tighten up his line. Just coasts in a bit closer, but Australia still holding one through Barry Lester. Well, do you get the feeling already we're seeing that end, bowling in that direction, is a bit more difficult?
Yeah, just a little looser, aren't they? And we talked about it at the break, and indications were that the wind is perhaps coming off the end stand, the scaffolding stand where our camera is positioned. So generally just a little bit looser.
Good line if it gets up there, and it does. That's a mighty first bowl there from Mark Casey.
Yeah, they're a length. Last bowl's just through.
Andy Napa from Reading, from the Tilehurst Bowling Club. Had a good 2014 Commonwealth Games where he won a silver in the fours and a bronze in the pairs.
Yeah, mate. Any bend to be good.
Oh, big change there from Casey. Now that's just he'll probably think that his line, he altered it only fractionally, and yet it stayed out a long way, didn't it?
It certainly did, and I think what we saw in the earlier game, if you go a little bit wider there, they do hang, and particularly if you're playing with some weight. Alan Faulkner played some run shots on that hand, and when she was wide, she just stayed wide, didn't come back at all. But it's Australia holding a couple of shots, so the pressure's back on England. Robert Paxton onto the backhand. Going quite heavy, yep, and travelling a long way back in the rink.
Tracking well from Sheriff, and just over. So it is that red disc ball belonging to Australia which holds the shot. Paxton with his second and last.
Looks to be coming up short. Is he cutting across the line early, isn't he? Whether it holds enough to get up for second shot, I don't know if it does. Certainly will force Aaron Sheriff onto the other side of the rink. He cannot afford to play on the forehand now. That bowl's certainly in his line.
This is the second end of 18 in the men's triples final. World Bowls 2016. That's running out of gas well down the track from Aaron Sheriff. I'll settle for, or they're measuring for second.
Certainly looks a red disc bowl, but
Yeah.
the measure will show.
Yep,
And it
yep.
is.
2 it is. 2 to Australia. Their scores are level after 2 ends. It's 2-all. At the Burnside Bowling Club, under nice summery skies, we have the final of the men's triples between Australia and England. It's 2-all after 2 ends. We're playing the third now. Barry Lester puts the jack down. Jamie Walker, he's a 24-year-old from Northampton. He's played for England since 2013. Won the Atlantic Rim singles gold medal last year, 2015. There's the red disc on the bowl of Barry Lester, his second.
Come on, bud. What you got now, mate? Come on, Bazza. Quicker, mate. Hurry.
A shot that's appreciated by the skip, Aaron Sheriff.
What you got? Good shot, mate.
So Gold Coast for the next Commonwealth Games, and doesn't seem that long ago since Edinburgh, does it? The previous ones.
Yeah, Glasgow actually. John.
Glasgow, yeah, sorry. Scotland, anyway, I knew that. Good toucher from Casey.
Yeah, look at the games will be round before we know, and immediately after this event is over, of course, all the teams that will be competing in that will be putting their preparations in place.
Hurry, mate.
2018, early 2018 as well.
Run again. Run again. Base is fair, buddy. Ready. Again it is, mate. Touch is good.
It's been remarkable. The number of teams here, the number of nations represented here at the World Championships. You know, we recognise, of course, the regular bowling countries.
Quicker, mate.
But the fact that this year, for example, we've had an entry from Turkey, and we're seeing the spread of bowls is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's great. And John Bell, of course, mentioned that in the opening of this game. Australia, a couple of fantastic bowls from Mark Casey. One on his, left-hander, one on his forehand, then one on his backhand. So you see the white bowls there nestled in beside the jack. So forcing England onto the drive and missing wide. So it's Australia who hold, well, they hold 3 shots at the moment.
Yep.
Aaron Sheriff goes to the mat to deliver his first bowl on this, the third end. Probably look at trying to tuck the jack in behind the Casey bowls. Hide it a little bit. There's some bowls up front that'll certainly block the pathway if that jack is moved. Robert Paxton on his forehand, be looking to play with weight as well.
Thanks, mate. Down a ball. Just lift it there, mate.
Right spot on, buddy.
2 misses wide by England as they, looking down at it, they probably can hardly see the jack or the 2 short bowls. They're well packed in behind those short bowls as Sheriff tries to compound England's misery here on this end, and he does. Oh, he's moved the jack. How does that help them?
Oh, it's not a problem at all.
No,
England
that
have got,
back ball was
Australia
theirs.
got 5. So it's back to the draw now for Paxton. This is not ever the easiest shot after having had a drive. So onto the forehand, drawing 5 down.
So this to save. Walker looks interested. He gets down on his haunches. They're coaxing it in. Oh, he might have. He will have cut it down.
Certainly has cut the count.
Yep.
I think it's just a couple. And it is 2 to Australia, so he saved 3 shots then with his last bowl, Robert Paxton. He was in all sorts of trouble once Aaron Sheriff moved the jack. However, cut the count back to 2, and it's Australia that leads by 4 to 2 after the 3rd completed end. The 3rd end of 18 ends.
A nervous, anxious moment or two for England in that 3rd end, where they were down 5 on the end. And it required a good draw from Robert Paxton to save the situation. They drop a 2. England now trailing 4-2 after 3 ends. This is the men's triples final, World Bowls 2016. Bowling towards the clubhouse here at the Burnside Bowling Club in Christchurch. And the opening bowl from Barry Lester couldn't be better. Jamie Walker, good response. The key to it is doing the same again. That's not that easy, and that's vast contrast to his previous very good bowl.
Okay, mate. Come up with these, mate. Track. Hold on, mate. A little longer. Good aim, well played. Nice swinging, mate. Very good. Get down.
England's number 2, Andy Napper. You won't be happy with that.
Big change, mate. You know, foot off, you get inside that.
Yes, England started well on that first end, but just been a wee bit wayward over the last couple of ends. Loosened up a bit, and opportunities are being grabbed by Australia. Smart Casey with his second bowl, giving it lots of encouragement. Coming up short, but probably still another shot. So England looking for a close one. The side of the green that the least number of bowls have been played. Looks to be heavy. Well, may well come into play away down the back of the rink. But it's a matter of whether England want to cut the count back or look at getting the kill. And the jack going on that tee, we can see at the bottom there of the chalk line. Sure, you'll see England look at covering that. Australia looking at covering that now. Conscious that England have got a couple of bowls back there.
Come on, break in, Aaron. Push, buddy. Very good here. Come on now. Hurry now. Push. Well done, buddy. Well done, buddy. Come on, mate. Got this.
Paxton to the mat now, his first on this fourth end. Australia have that two-shot advantage. Just having a wee run at this.
Down, down, down.
Takes the jack, and it will be respotted. Is it out of the rink? It is, so it's picked up.
I think what actually has happened here is that Paxton's bowl has followed through. We see the red bowl of Paxton has followed through to be the closest bowl to the tee spot by the looks of it.
Yeah, indeed. Was that the one he played, was it? Because they had one back there anyway, didn't they?
No, this is his drive, the red bowl.
So he had it.
See it coming through here, and just past the Australian bowl.
Knocked out their own one, which was there, and settled in. So that's shot to England. If you haven't watched the previous matches, what occurs here is they're respotting the jack on the tee as it is there if it goes out of play. And it has played a big part in the previous final here. Sheriff now looking to take the jack and does so. Toucher in the ditch. They have the shot.
Yes, may well have a couple of shots. It's gone over to the side of the rink. There's the toucher in the ditch, which I think will be one of the shots. And we see it again here. Finds the gap, the edge of the jack, moving it out the side. Now, this is an Australian bowl, the Barry Lester bowl out the side of the rink. So it's Australia who now hold. Big task here now for Paxton, drawing to an off-centre jack.
At the ditch.
Immediately after having a drive.
Yeah. So this, to save this end, Australia holding one anyway. He might have played it quite if he's got the weight. He has. He's up there. Very good bowl by Paxton. So a save with his last bowl by Robert Paxton, the skip for England. And it's now 4-3 Australia leading in this men's triples final. That's why he's a skip, Terry, isn't it? play those shots. You play a drive 1 minute and then you're drawing to an off-centre jack towards the ditch, near the ditch the next, and doing it well.
Yes, all his talent was certainly called upon with those couple of shots.
Now, Walker on the last end, he had both his bowls were right on the centre line, and he's done it again, so his green has been absolutely perfect.
Then we get.
Barry Lester with his first.
Then we get, mate.
Very steady once again.
Not bad. Later, buddy. What you got, Jamie? Only go, mate. Only go. Good, mate. Good.
There's certainly an improvement there from Walker.
Oh, that's hurry back. Hurry. No balls, mate. Line the win, mate. Turn it short. Score it down to the back green. Beat it, you're in.
Well, the Leeds have done their job on the 50 end. The opening bowls are two opening bowls from each of the Leeds.
Hi, Andy.
It's Andy Napper.
Yes, mate. And again.
Be pretty much into the target area as well. If it just holds its head up enough to get past the...
Shot, mate.
And it does. So
Two, mate. You pick your hand.
a couple of shots to England.
Lock it down there. You're playing it well. Just through that pause. Push, Case. Quicker, Hammer. Hurry now. Bring the front, you close, mate. Come on.
Oh, he's got a nice weight here too. Is he going to get through that? He does slides through that gap.
Good effort, mate. Good shot, mate. No, that's very good.
Well, the swing of the arm just after he delivered would indicate he's not happy with it, green-wise anyway, but he's certainly getting into the target here. He doesn't want to move the jack, though, does he? I think that's what he was concerned about. Reduced the count, but has got a better shot out of it.
He stayed with it. And there's protection up there, isn't it? When you look now, there's with the jack moving back a metre.
Yes, there's an arc of bowls across the face of the shot bowl now.
Forcing Casey to change his hand.
And again, mate. It's in the game, mate.
So Australia have the back bowl. A marker, Kate Bassett, indicates it's one blue disc, which is England holding shot.
Find the gap yourself.
Paxton, who played a beauty at the end of the previous end to give England a shot. England trailing by 4-3, playing the fifth end of 18 in this triples final at World Bowls 2016.
Swing.
If he sits on that, he didn't quite. He needed just to be inside it, but that's still a good handy bowl there. And still England have a shot.
Looks to be wide, doesn't he? Very wide. Yeah, very similar to the Casey bowl. Yep, finishes at the back there. So
I wouldn't leave. No, I don't think you want to move the front. Particularly move the front and give him a nice shot before. I think he rose at the top still. Drop off the bowl or wide side there and drop to the yellow. I think he's in the way. I wouldn't be putting it. Yeah, okay.
Lots of the bowlers who have played in the first week of women's fours and singles here watching the final of the men's triples, and the rest of the competition starts on Monday.
I think they're a part of your fan club, weren't they, John?
They were, yes, yeah. Here, met a lot of the bowlers here last year, and a lot of them return. They enjoy coming back to Christchurch.
Work away, mate. Work away.
Paxton just looking for a bit of cover now. Last two bowls from Australia going to the rear of the rink. So now up to Sheriff with his last bowl.
Very much a game of tactics, isn't it? You've got to be aware of 2 steps ahead, basically. A lot of the time with this. Sheriff now with his final bowl, the last bowl on the 5th end. It's 4-3, Australia leading.
He got some weight, hasn't he, Aaron Sheriff?
Try, mate.
How did he get through?
Oh, buddy. Fun.
He wasn't wanting to get through. It's a 1 shot, 1 blue. And that is 4 all now. Australia and England. This is a tense final for the first few ends, the first 5 ends. It's 4 all. England and Australia. No team getting a break at all. The jack is already on its way down by Jamie Walker. First bowl coming down on the 6th end of the men's triples final at the Burnside Bowling Club in Christchurch. It's World Bowls 2016. And it's all tied up 4 all, Australia and England. The Australian team has this man, Barry Lester, at the front. Mark Casey is at 2, and Aaron Sheriff is the skip. The English team have Jamie Walker, Andy Napper, and their skip is Robert Paxton. England losing just 1 game throughout last week. Australia losing 1 and having a draw as well. So they're the 2 best teams through. Well, you can see why he was pouncing after it, just following it down, breathing heavily behind it as he watched, knew it was going to be close. 2 good bowls to start for Jamie Walker. Lester with his second.
Yes, once again we see this direction, don't we? The looseness of the bowls. They just seem to be able to have the difficulty with that breeze, and compare it with them coming in this other direction, it is just totally different. So both teams struggling to some extent. England were in a fair amount of trouble going this way last time when they were 3 down, but got out of it in the end with the 1 shot. And at this stage, they are holding the 1 until Mark Casey comes along. And look at that. Well, we say they're struggling, but there's certainly no struggle about that bowl.
Perfect.
Go on, time, mate. If you do get a back nudge on it, very good. Come on, mate.
Napper looking to loosen up the jack, possibly.
Belly double, mate.
See if Casey can give us 2. He likes it.
Of all players, he's probably picked it the best going down there, hasn't he?
Oh, look at that. Take a photo. Mark Casey.
Corner up, mate. It's going dead.
Final match for Australia for Mark Casey. And a few more like that, and he'll go out
Come on, mate.
a real winner.
No, Paxton forced to drive again.
Move! Move! Well played.
Well, he managed to get the edge of one of the bowls, and look at it, it's respotted onto the tee there, and it is
An England bowl.
It looked to be as if it was going to hang wide for a start, but managed to catch the back one, which gave it the kill. And respotting of the jack. Well, the heavy draw shot ends up valuable.
Well, the England women saw that work against them in their final. On the first end, they were holding 4 shots, and Natasha Scott stepped in and killed the end. The jack was respotted, and one of the Australian bowls was right next to it. So from 4 up to 1 down, and now we've seen something similar, not quite as dramatic, but Australia holding 2, and now with that previous shot we see the roles reversed, and it's England with the shot. Skip Robert Paxton from Taunton at the Crediton Bowling Club.
Come on, mate. Oh, you played one here, Paco. Great effort again, son. Gently. Gently. Feet in now. Right in. Gently. Yes, mate. Well done.
Aaron Sheriff will soon pick up his bowl, which is waiting for him down by the mat. And when he looks down, he knows exactly the shot he's going to play. He's just come back from there. He knows that there's room to draw.
He's forced onto his backhand. He played his first bowl on the forehand, got caught up in the England bowl, so has to change to the other side of the rink. Must be pretty well weighted too, isn't he?
Oh, he is too. He is just not going to run it out. Or is it?
I think it will.
It is. Oh, what a perfect bowl from Aaron Sheriff. High fives all round, and deservedly so.
Aaron Sheriff with the last bowl on this, the 6th end. 1 down, definitely, possibly even 2, forced to go on the draw on the other side of the rink, and there we see it. Well, the Skips have been playing the big stuff, haven't they, over the last couple of years, particularly going in that direction. It was Paxton a couple of ends ago, and now it's Sheriff.
Seventh end being played. We're a third of the way through this men's triples final. 1 shot in it. Australia leading over England.
Nelly. Another good opener, mate.
It's not bad.
Well played, buddy.
Opening bowl from Barry Lester. As the leads continue to play this side of the rink in this direction. Generally going in both directions. They're sticking to the one side of the rink.
Great shot, mate. Real good. Weight's good, mate.
We're witnessing some pretty good lead bowls, actually. In general, these two have been sending up or down.
Track, buddy.
Bowls that their skips are quite happy about.
Don't lose anything, did you? Thanks, Dad. Hurry. Come on, Snelly. Quicker, mate. Get up. Two goodies, mate. Well done.
Same ball, mate. Touch over. Easy, mate. Easy in that. Nicely, mate. Nicely. Shots.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Yep. Well, remember Casey going the other way. 2 stunning bowls.
Come on, buddy. Too hard. Right around now.
The skip looks interested again.
I'll play, mate. Great effort.
Very handy there.
Similar to that move, mate. Get on the back of the eyes, Andy. Just slipping's good. Come on, mate. Play this well. Off the line, mate. Turn. Get off the line. Turn. Good start, mate. Well done.
Pace is awesome, mate. Some to land. Jack off, Snelly. Come on, buddy. Let go. Double, mate.
Top of that, mate. Just easing up to it.
Casey's in the groove.
Line's all good, mate. Let go, Andy. Line's all good here. Naps. Round it. Shot. And bend. And bend. Shot, mate. Bend. Real good. Right,
Well, as a skip, you'd be wandering up to the mat thinking, it's not too bad from my team. Or are you really fussy?
No, there's some pretty good quality there. You look at it and say to yourself that there's 7 of the 8 bowls all within, well, less than a metre of the jack. Both skips have got to be happy. Even though you're down, you still say to yourself, well, I've got bowls around, it gives me something to play to, and that's
come on, buddy.
where Aaron Sheriff comes into his own.
Work.
Well, it's a little bit unfortunate there. He edged the English bowl behind the jack. That was the bowl that he was wanting to use to rest on. It's made it a little bit more difficult for him. So England will look at trying to protect those 2 shots that they've got there at the moment. Or definitely 1 shot. Just not sure if the second one is in or not. The maroon coloured bowls.
What's he looking to play just over and into those white balls, to sit around those white balls?
He just doesn't want to
Doesn't
really
want to move
give
anything,
He
does he?
doesn't want to give Sheriff a target either.
No.
There's not much for Sheriff to play to there at the moment. He puts something out the side. He will not hesitate in going back, Sheriff, and having a drive at it. So pretty important.
Away now, mate. Come in. Work away now. Solid on this is good. Good, mate. Piece of coffee, come on, then.
No change.
Well, Australian players contemplating it now as to what their best option is.
So England holding a couple there, the 2 lead bowls, in fact, just over the jack.
I think Sheriff has got to look at coming on beforehand. Change his hand. He's only got to turn over the front green bowl. He doesn't have to give that too many rolls, and if he slips past it, he's got a chance of sitting on the English bowls, the 2 maroon-coloured bowls. So I think he may well have a look at the option of going onto that forehand, perhaps. I don't know. No, certainly on his backhand. Playing with weight. Coming down the centre line, we can see it now, so he's pretty close to some action.
Now, oh, look, and it's a red disc bowl that's gone back to the tee.
It was the Mark Casey bowl, wasn't it? A little bit fortuitous, wasn't it?
Both could go down. Same bowl. What's the damage if I get thin and ours?
So again, the jack for the second time in this match, it's been respotted.
See it here, the drive, and it goes through, and then he connects with his own teammate's bowl, the white bowl, and is wobbling back towards that tee spot, and that's where the jack will be replaced. England team just sort of dropped their head a little bit when they saw that coming back. So now a plan of attack for England. One down. May only have the 1 second shot. The blue bowl is the second shot. So Paxton will have to weigh it up as to what his options are.
It's he's going to play on the backhand.
With some
He's
weight
having
too.
a run. He's looking for that shot bowl. He's going to get caught up in that short traffic, and so it turns to nothing for them. And again, the respotting of the jack pays dividends. This time it's to Australia, or again to Australia, and they move to 6-4. So on the previous end, the 6th, we had Australia holding 2, and Paxton moved the jack, pushed the jack out. It was respotted. England had the closest bowl, but then Sheriff drew, so Australia gained out of that one. And as you've seen on this most recent end, the 7th, Australia were 2 down. The jack respotted, and Australia gained the advantage. So 6-4 it is after 7 ends of this men's triples final. Lester gets the white mark. Touching the jack, and that's recorded by the, it used to be just chalk, but these days it's in general a spray. And the same will happen for his opponent in England lead, Jamie Walker. It's day 1 of finals here in Christchurch at the Burnside Bowling Club. 2 finals today, the women's 4 and this the men's triples.
There's a pretty good reply here too from Barry Lester. Well, had to make the adjustment. The jack got moved back. Good metre and a half. So made a very good adjustment. Drew the shot. What can Walker do? Follow the same line. Just to be a little bit tighter crossing the centre line early.
And the crowd, which is on the side watching that, would have thought that that was going to just lock on to the shot bowl. Just slid past it. Casey, who's in a hot streak at the moment, not following this all the way down. It's only his first bowl, but he likes it anyway. It's going to get in there or thereabouts, giving Australia 2 shots.
I think we'll certainly see England go across to the backhand now.
I think you make sure on the draw, mate. Catch mine, mate, you first.
I've seen anything that starts wide out here tends to stay out, doesn't it? We'll see what Andy Napper can manage.
To be reasonably well tracked.
Yeah.
Down, mate, very good here.
Getting under that.
He's got to get under it.
That's their bowl.
Well, he would have promoted it up for second shot. So it certainly has helped them.
Up again.
Get the
makes
power, mate. Get the edge. Get the jack clean.
it changes hand here.
I think if you're playing with weight, he said if you
He's
get
gonna
the
play
edge,
with
you can
weight,
get
yep.
both of them. So
Yep.
Snapper playing with weight on the forehand.
Stay there, buddy. Stay there.
Whoa.
Followed through and went through the gap.
Yeah, so you can see that's a perfect indication of what can happen if you're in there touching, moving them around. The wicks, the nicks, they can produce all sorts of results.
Gee, he was close to picking up the jack,
Yeah.
wasn't he, on the way through?
Easy, mate. Easy, Omar. Stop!
Right in for another second.
So the promoted bowl of Jamie Walker just to the side of the jack looks to be the shot. England.
Top side there. If he lands the green,
Yeah,
beat the green. It's close enough.
It holds in well, mate. All the bends at the end. Very good pace. Come.
It all looks different from down the other end of the rink as he stands on the mat. Picture of what he wants to achieve down here, what the situation is. He's on that forehand.
Just trying to beat the last bowl of Aaron Sheriff's.
Good pace from there.
Gently.
Whether it will come back enough will be interesting. It seems to hold down that point there. Yeah, just a bit heavy perhaps to come back in. He's looking to beat those two bowls that are just to the right of the red there. So Aaron Sheriff coming back to play his last bowl on this, the 8th end. Aaron Sheriff playing with a little bit of weight, looking to make connection with the shot, the hole, and is he past the green one? May not be, but he might get up for the shot, did he? No. Had a couple of seconds, so he was looking to turn the shot bowl out. So it's 1 at the moment to England.
Just a draw here from Paxton to try and make it 2.
Buddy, knock off.
The last bowl on this, the 8th end. Scores tight, 6 points to 4. Australia leading England. England holding shot. This looks to be wide from Paxton. Is it going to come in from there? It's not going to, and so we'll settle for a single. And the single goes to England. After 8 ends now, they trail by 1. It's Australia 6, England 5. Men's triples final. Utilising some of the young new bowlers around the Canterbury region to act as lollipop holders, people who indicate what the score is. Kate Bassett, one of the local club members here at Burnside, is the young woman who's doing the job here. Ninth end coming up to the halfway stage, and just 1 point the difference.
Well done, buddy.
Leicester with perfect weight.
And up, mate. And up. Go.
Barry Lester with the one shot from his opening bowl. Looking to add to it.
Well done, buddy. Good all the way, mate.
The rink certainly looks to have got quicker as the day's gone on.
Good there, mate.
This morning, as I mentioned, a lot of dew on the green, but it's certainly now with the heat
Well played, buddy.
sped up as England
Well done, mate. Good ball. Just loose.
just through the gap as well. So it's the one shot to Australia.
Same ball, mate.
It's a loose one for Casey today.
Stefani. Stefani. Great, Sandy. Real good.
Couple of good bowls from Andy Napper. Jogs up and joins his teammates Walker and Paxton as they watch Casey follow his bowl down, his second bowl.
Certainly got less weight.
Hey. Good job. Well done, Case.
Good job. Well done, buddy.
Ball falls back towards the jack. So we've got good slips cordon around the jack at the moment, out to the left.
Good shot, mate. Gently, mate. Gently, mate.
Has to be heavy as well. It's a relatively
Good one,
short
Az.
end.
Yes.
The mat is a long way up.
Well. Couple up.
So it's a relatively short end and a lot of bowls drifting a metre past.
How's you can, Omar?
Come on, buddy.
Come on.
Run, run.
Omar. Come on.
This isn't going to be a metre pass, that's for sure. Hasn't run it out enough. I think that's still that green bowl to the left, which is that the shot? That's Australia's. That's
Australia definitely got
Leicester.
the one.
Yeah.
I think that may be all they've got.
I think so, yeah.
Tight, mate. Very
It's a
tight.
measure, obviously. He says it's very tight, so the last
To be fair, it's
bowl
not in your road. If you're down either
possibly
side
in a
of that,
measure
you're
with
good.
the
I'd probably look
maroon
you can hang
bowl
the
and
end
the
slightly
blue bowl
tight, you rest the
behind,
bowl
so-
there, you win. You land mine, you're not far off shot.
some clear indications there from Andy Napper.
Want some inside Sheriff's last bowl, I think. But his weight's got to be ideal for that. Perfect.
Good. Come on, Rob. Move.
Start moving, start
Move.
turning.
Go.
That's it. This is the top bowl. This is it. That's a beauty. What a good bowl from Robert Paxton.
Yeah, played to perfection.
Now, the result of this end is in the hands of Aaron Sheriff.
Yes, Paxton had to negotiate the last Sheriff bowl, the yellow and green that we see there, and did so with perfection.
Dragon good, mate.
The ball.
Well, going to play with weight. Players are all stepping back a bit from the jack. Now, who's got?
Well,
If the jack goes,
and nothing else goes back, it would
Yeah.
be Australia who'd have the one.
yeah. See that white bowl down the back? That's Casey's, one of Casey's bowls. That'll be closest to the tee if the jack goes. And here it goes. Straight through a hole. And no change there. So that's one shot to England. And after 9 ends, this match is tied up yet again at 6-all. Very tight. We've had 3 twos scored on the first end. England's opened with a 2, and Australia immediately replied and then scored a 2 on the 3rd, and that's been the extent of it. The rest have all been singles. We're at the halfway stage now, and they're back where they started, level. Australia and England 6-all in the men's triples final at World Bowls 2016, as we see the first bowl come down on this 10th end from Jamie Walker. This is bowling towards what's turned out to be the difficult end, difficult direction to bowl.
Okay.
Leicester has the closest of the bowls at the moment. They're all up past the jack by a metre or more. The number 2 for England, Andy Nepper. Playing that forehand side, that's side away from the crowd, which is on your left as you view this.
Wins it, buddy. Your best, mate.
Hurry on. Come shoot. Right up the line. That's good enough.
Same ball, mate. Facing the lane. Bowl in. Out. Gone now.
Studying it intently.
Yeah.
It's on the outside of the Casey bowl.
As the skips sort of look ahead a wee bit in this match, Robert Paxton would be noticing that he's got those 3 bowls just down to the left and behind the jack. Australia have got them on the other side.
Yes, well, no one's really dominated the end.
No.
4 bowls that would be all in contention for shot. Players certainly favouring the one side of the rink. All bowls so far have gone down that side.
Come on, Paco. He's off now. You're good again, buddy. He's off, mate. Good again, buddy.
Good line here. Now, no measure for shot now.
Certainly made the decision, hasn't it?
Sheriff follows him down, forehand side. Still plenty of drawing room there.
Come on.
Certainly in the area as well, looking for a head towards the jack, isn't he?
Oh, went the wrong way for him.
No,
Oh no, he
didn't.
still gets the shot. See those 3 blue disc bowls there. The jack looked to be heading in that direction.
Yes, we see he gets the face of the jack. It goes back and clicks onto it, but then moves to the side again. Just looked as though it was going to tuck itself in between the blue and the red bowl. Oh, which is Australia.
Maybe what Paxton wants to do now, tuck that jack in there, but he's got to change.
Keep ready, Alice.
Well, no, he what would he still continue with that forehand?
I think he'd still look at the forehand,
Yeah.
perhaps sitting through the shot bowl.
Yep.
He doesn't want to be removing his closest bowls, so weight is going to be important here. Playing a lot quicker than I anticipated.
Oh, just a bowl there. Oh,
Oh, gee, got out clean. What
Wow.
a fantastic shot. Gee, it's really been all Paxton, hasn't it? He played some great stuff.
Yeah, that was an outstanding shot. So now we see they've got two as we watch this again, straight on, and it could have gone anywhere, that Sheriff bowl, but it went clean through the gap and left the jack alone. So now it's up to Sheriff.
I wonder if we'll see him drive the two bowls. I'm sure he is.
No, he might have worsened it a wee bit. There might be three now for England.
Certainly got the two that were there, and they will have a look whether this blue bowl, bottom left-hand side, it's in the one in the measure. So England are going to pick up the two. Gee, Paxton's played well, hasn't he?
Oh, yes. There's no hesitation. He was just on the mat and banged it and gets a three. Oh, have they conceded three? Yes, they have. Now, big end there for England. And for only the second time in the match, they've hit the front. They scored on the first end, but have trailed since, and they lead now by 9-6 after 10 ends. Long way to go in this game, but that's the biggest margin we've had. 3 shots.
Well, England continuing to pull the mat up. It's up about 4 to 5 metres.
and again, Jamie.
Pretty
What you
handy
got, mate?
opening
Last
bowl
leg.
as well
Go,
from
buddy.
Jamie Walker.
Go, buddy.
I think the two leads are loving this, their own little contest.
And that's what it actually is. It's a battle between those two. Got no control on what happens after where they play.
Down a little, mate. Down a little. All right. Just start it, bud. Well played, Snelly. Good, mate.
Howdy, mate.
He's 24 years of age from
Okay.
Northampton. This is Jamie Walker.
Go, Jamie.
Important role, as they all have in this game, but he's been
Good,
leading
mate.
very
Good
well.
shot, buddy. Real good.
It's 3 of the gold medal winning Australian fours.
Come on, Snelly. Quicker up, mate. Quicker up. Hurry. Tackle. Tackle. Good ball, bad.
Go on, mate. Ball short at the front.
Comes in for second shot there, Barry Lester.
Out the ball, mate. Out the ball. Tuck into me now. Nicely now, Naps. Bend. Okay.
He didn't want to move that, Jack,
No,
did
he
he?
did
Good,
not.
mate. Jack's on the tee, mate.
Two good shots from Walker there. And unfortunately for Napa, he's moved the jack back. Wow, probably over a good metre to the Leicester
Okay,
bowl.
guys.
So probably Australia holding one.
Drawing in. Okay. Get yourselves good, landing the ball. Come on, mate.
So he changes hand onto the forehand now. Where he's got the draw to the jack or onto his own previous bowl.
Gently in. Gently in. Stay good. Gently. Stay good. Gently. Gently. It's good, mate. Yeah.
Just looking at Andy Napa as he came down, and just you could sense that he was really unhappy with that previous bowl. The
Come on, buddy.
one prior to his last, where he'd moved the
Shot,
jack.
mate.
Here's Casey coming in now, looking to build up on that situation for Australia. So Australia look to be holding shot that green bowl of Barry Lester's. The jack was moved back to there.
Well, it's Paxton again. See what he can do. He's played some pretty good stuff over the last few ends. On his forehand. The side of the rink that has been played the least.
Not a huge amount, mate. Not a huge amount.
Big one, buddy.
England last won this title in 1980 with the great David Bryant playing with Tony Alcock, another outstanding England representative for a long time, and Jim Hobday. That was the triple in 1980 which won this for England in that year. So a long time between titles for both these nations. As I mentioned earlier, Australia last won it in 1966, the first World Bowls. From the angle where we are up in the commentary box, you'd give it to Lester, wouldn't you? You'd give it to the Australian bowl, but sometimes when you look at it from there, shadows coming into play.
Yes, I would certainly favour the Australian bowl.
Yeah, that's the green bowl as we look at it now.
Come on, Bobby.
Just a metre on from his last bowl is what he's seeking here.
Come on, mate, just run a yard more
Is
than
it
your
starting
last.
to work?
Hurry, Paco.
Starting to work. Is it going to get up there? Is it going to
No,
get
mate,
up there?
very
It's
good.
going to fall just short again.
Just needs
Good
to knock
try.
the blue.
Gosh, look how close that was.
I think so. Get over down that boundary peg. Having to kill it's a bonus.
Well, does that indicate then that England have got the shot?
Well, I think so. Yeah. Well, look, you look at that now. I just sense, though, I think that blue bowl is closest, but
Well,
yeah, must be. Yeah,
must
yeah.
be.
He's having a go. He's having a go. He kills it. He does, and so Australia again will take advantage of the respotting. They'll get a couple out of this, maybe three, maybe.
Definitely
Four.
got two.
We'll have to have a look and see. There's two at least.
I don't think they can get four. They can get.
That was an outstanding run shot from Aaron Sheriff. Took the jack to the side. What do they get? Two. So that one England bowl was keeping them out, but it was a close one. Steve Glasson will be happy. A celebratory water, unusual for him. And it's 9-8. England leading Australia. Now 2 to Australia on the 11th. We're playing the 12th end of 18 in this men's triples final at World Bowls 2016 in Christchurch. Skip didn't need to shift that at all. Good throw of the jack. A lot of bowls, World Bowls caps being worn around here. There's the website, you can see World Bowls 216. You pick up all the information you need on that. this coverage is being delivered live in Australia through Fox, and also live streaming to our international audience. And it mightn't be the best time of day for those of you in England watching this, but we know that you'll be enjoying this as your team is really in a tense battle with Australia in the men's triple.
Barry Lester delivering his second ball.
Second ball from Jamie Walker. Boy, it looks to be hanging out.
Gee, you just go out a little bit, it does hang, doesn't it? Touch more weight.
It's a fine line, isn't it, between
certainly going in this direction. As they favouring the forehand, as you say, it's a fine line. So Mark Casey has played it as good as anybody. So
not this time, though. He's just stormed off. You see him up the top there. He walked away and said, "I don't like this."
Well, you can see why.
Sorry, mate.
Crossing the centre line very early. It's going a long way through. Also another bowl that's coming across the line early. Has better weight than what Casey had. Yes, this is what the players have to contend with. The breeze is starting to come up now, and as we said, it seems to swirl, particularly in this direction where the head is. So can the players handle it? As Mark Casey with his second looks to be heading towards the jack. Very good bowl.
Beat your own, you win it.
Australia possibly 2 shots. Playing at number 2 for England is Andy Napper.
Nice line.
You heard it clearly there, nice line, so it's certainly going to be down to his weight. So when he's in the area, how far will it travel through?
Too much.
Aaron Sheriff with his first bowl. Any movement of the jack would be interesting. It's gone straight through to the last bowl that was played. So Sheriff plays a good bowl, but is one down. It's the last bowl from Napper that is now the shot.
So much better feeling going to the mat as the skip when you're holding shot rather than looking to save. Your whole attitude changes here. He's playing that forehand as well.
Yeah, pretty important also for England to get another bowl on the head here.
Hold, Rob. Hold.
Oh, hard luck. One in, one out.
Oh, I think he'd be happy. He's got another bowl on the head because the 4 second shots were all Australian bowls. So they will have a look at what they can do now to remove this shot bowl.
Look to be going straight on to Sheriff's bowl. So they have got a couple of rolls on that Napper bowl was good value.
Well, I think also from the fact that it's hidden their own shot bowl a bit. It's now in behind the Australian bowl. So the task for Sheriff has become a little bit more difficult.
Yes, you could just see there as our Sheriff walked out of view. His view of the head way back down the other end now. He would hardly see the shot bowl, the red bowl, tucked in behind his own. So there you see the red bowl is the shot bowl. It's tucked in behind his own.
Changed his hand, perhaps looking to play onto his own bowl. He's close to it.
Oh, look at this. Through the gap. It looked to have played perfectly. Just a touch off his own bowl. Would have carried that last bowl of his onto the jack, probably settle there for shot, but at the moment it's still...
See, he was looking to get onto his own bowl and he'd played the perfect shot.
Gosh. That's how close it was. Lester scratches his chin and gives us a green lip smile again. So England holding shot. A lot of discussion as we view the head now, just seeing whether that was the last shot of Sheriff's, wasn't it? So just one to play, and it's Paxton's.
So I think Paxton just recognises that he has to be cautious here.
Yeah. I mean, if he moves his own shot, then he could conceivably give Australia 3 here.
On his forehand.
Heart in his mouth. Holding shot, leading by 9-8.
He's pretty well tracked again, isn't he?
Oh, gosh, he's playing some good bowls, isn't he? Whoa, whoop, whoop, whoop. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Oh.
He did have the blue bowl.
Yeah, he did have that blue bowl there, so movement of the jack would have been to his advantage. They settled for a single anyway, and a good tight end, another tight end in this triples final. It's 10-8 to England. So as we've been showing you shots of the crowd here, you'll notice that there's bowlers here from all over the world. There's a team from Zimbabwe and the US, Turkey, Spain, Philippines, of course, Norfolk Island always in the hunt. Malaysia, Kenya have got a team here, a bowler here, Isle of Man and Israel. Guernsey and Canada, of course, Brunei, China, Cook Islands, Japan, who featured in our results previously. The men's triples did very well. There's Norfolk Island Bowls Club. So they're one of those countries which constantly produce good results, particularly in their women's singles with Carmen Anderson, who's been around for a long time.
Well, seen the opening bowl from Jamie Walker. 2/3 of the game completed. 12 of the 18 ends have been played. And Barry Lester with a very good bowl.
Well done, mate.
Yes, you'd be a brave man to pick the winner of this game. And the odds this morning as they opened on the TAB had Australia at $1.85 and New Zealand at $1.95. So
England, yeah.
Sorry, England.
Yeah.
Oh, I wished it was New Zealand.
Yeah, that's right. I think
England.
New Zealand would have been going for a bit more. Yeah, it's interesting. Betting on the bowls, that's just adds a bit more interest to it for a lot of people.
Come on, buddy. How many get, mate?
Again, that's Leicester.
Up inside that last one's good, mate.
10-8, 2 points in it, playing the 13th end.
Yeah, well, there hasn't been too much change on that betting either. Australia now at $1.90, England at $1.80. So England have taken the favouritism just slightly.
There, coming back into it. That's 2 bowls short.
Well, rest this green one, is that the shot or not?
You flop, it is. Come on, mate, get this.
Yes, for those who are interested in having a little gamble, there's live betting on this game. So every end it could change the way it is going at the moment.
Yes. Land that, mate. Find that port. It's good.
Great couple of opening bowls from Barry Lester. Well, England a little bit loose on this end.
Good, buddy.
Good shot, mate.
Okay.
Good, mate.
Aaron Sheriff not unhappy about that bowl. He knows that one at the back there covering the tee is very important.
Come, mate.
So, Paxton, what can he do this time?
Move, Rob. Move.
Slips.
Move!
Swing.
Very unlucky, mate.
Okay.
Just a fraction up. Fraction.
Well, Paxton, a little bit unfortunately, it turned another
Well, Ed.
Australian bowl in, so holding 3 at the moment. This could be a big end for Australia. They're 2 behind on the scoreboard.
Solid now. Stay, stay. Yep, well played, buddy.
And that's another one. Well, I think England certainly have to look at attacking.
Through the front, mate.
Reduce the count. It's going to be difficult to remove all 4 bowls, so it's either a kill with the jack or removing some of the shots. So driving, I think he's missed it all. No, he got one of them out. Removed the last bowl of Aaron Sheriff, so it's definitely 3 to Australia at the moment. Australia holding 3. Can Sheriff add the bonus shot? Looking at it, trying to work it home. I think they may have, just if it falls over, it's definitely in. And it does. It's a big end for Australia. They pick up a 4. Completion of the 13th end. It's Australia leading by 12 to 10. It's a big end for Australia. You see the 4 being signalled there. All right, 5 ends to go. How will England bounce back from that? The biggest end of the game. Opening bowl from Barry Lester.
Easy.
in, Jamie.
Yes, the last end was a loose one from the opening members, the lead and the second for the English side. And as a consequence, Australia capitalised on that. Paxton was put under all sorts of pressure playing his last bowl, 4 down.
Good. Come on, bro. It's up! Come on, bro. Come on out, mate. Out again, Jerry. Let go, mate. Let go, buddy. Shot. You're chucking it out, mate. Look inside, this is good. Out and about.
Australia leading by 12 to 10. Big 4. Had a huge impact on the TAB as well. Australia have dropped to $1.47 and England out to $2.50. So
Can you see I was done? I'll be going. Off which one? Pardon? Well, off the forehand. Yeah, can you see underneath the ball? Room to chip him off, mate.
well, the indications there, calling for a drive at the shot bowl. See if you can chip it off.
Matt!
They're looking at it closely.
Yeah!
Oh, what a magnificent bowl. Played it well. It was a great shot from Andy Napper.
Case, come on, Emma.
Casey,
Come on, Case. Come on, mate. Come on,
2
buddy.
down. He's playing pretty well himself. He looks to put it back. Well,
Don't touch, mate. Don't chase you down there as well. London, anything's good.
no indication as to who has got the shot. Last ball
Swing, man.
for Napper.
Matt.
Getting some encouragement from his skip.
Go, go, go.
Oh, some great bowls. Some fantastic stuff is being played here in the men's final. See the last bowl here from Andy Napper. He's already driven out the shot bowl. Casey put it back, and now with his last one, Napper's trailed the jack. Definitely got the one shot. Aaron Sheriff showing a lot of interest too, aren't they? Well, that may definitely give England 2. And I think the indication there is from Jamie Walker, who said 2 mates, so
Still two balls to be played.
Paxton's got 2 to play and Sheriff has got 1. So Paxton will want to put the pressure on Sheriff with this one. I think he's got enough green.
No, and you indicate from Walker that that was the case. Oh, he's not going to upset things, is he? Oh, he has. He has. Oh, he's given the shot away.
Yes.
Well, that's one of the few average or costly bowls that Paxton's played. He goes back, hands on his hips.
Australian players are looking at it closely. Mark Casey sort of nodded his head as indicating, I'm not really sure. One bowl each left to play. So Sheriff
Move, Az. Move now.
Wanting to make sure of the shot, but he's not going to run it out.
Now England will have a look at the situation. See if they can decide as to who has the shot. It's going to be difficult for us here if they can't decide down there.
No, that's right. So they've all had a look. Jamie Walker had a look. The lead. Andy Napper's gone up. And now Robert Paxton, who's going to play the final bowl. So they can only just stand above it and have a look and gauge, use their eyesight. So probably the best thing is just to draw the shot now. This is not the situation that England looked like they were going to be a couple of bowls ago. But Paxton changed that, and now he wants to retrieve the situation. Last bowl of this, the 14th end.
He'll give it a chance. That's the one thing he's going to do. It just looks to be tight, is he?
Yeah, I think again. Oh. No, he's not going to get there. Could have been backdoor job, but no. Now they're putting a wedge in underneath the blue bowl. They don't want it to fall over. Who's marking? Casey comes in. Casey marks. He should just about get a good view of this. I know his shoulder's obscuring it. Well, he's given it to England. So England do get the shot. It was very tight. And shot to England. It's now 12-11. This remains a tight and tense final in the men's triples.
This would be a little bit of relief for Paxton. Thought he'd given it away. He had two. However, retained one of them. With just 4 ends to play.
Get off the line, mate.
So Jamie Walker
Yes.
delivered the jack and his first bowl.
Hurry. Hurry, Snelly. Come on, mate. Every step's a winner. Meter.
This is a final in the true sense, isn't it? These two teams had such good records coming into it. They were the ideal finalists. They both expressed a lot of confidence in how they were playing and what their chances were, and giving due respect to the opposition. But look at it now, 12-11.
Go, Johnny.
Yes, certainly the performance has lived up to what is expected, and as you said, John, the performances by both these teams on the way through was quite outstanding, and it's certainly continued in this final.
Same as that sort of ball, mate. Just making sure if you're lifting off that's very good. Run and touch. Pace is good, mate. Stay up. Get out. Run. Up, Nat.
Needs to get past that bowling. Yeah, it's a pretty good bowl there. Andy Napper. England holding 3.
Last match for his nation, or last competition for his nation, Mark Casey playing at 2 for Australia. They crouch down
Hurry,
looking at
up
this
again.
as we
Well
get
played,
there.
guys.
He gets just a wee nudge, slides in for shot. It's interesting. It's a real team, isn't it? Like Jamie Walker might just be the lead, but his influence
He's certainly
quite telling.
He's certainly having a contribution to what should be played and who has the shot, etc., and decision making on what is played.
Get off the line, mate. Swing. Get off the line as much as you like now. And go. And go. And more.
Help us, mate.
Go again, mate. Get a roll.
Oh, there we are. And if they were looking for a bowl nearest to the tee, they've got it. Casey quickly into his work and jogs after his second bowl, his last. Often when he stands back and waits, he thinks it's a good one. Or this one goes sliding through that gap. The tension's reaching a peak here with this the 15th end, so 3 ends after this, and 1 point separating them.
I think what they're looking at here is to whether they can play down onto the maroon coloured bowl to punch the white one through the gap. You've got 3 seconds, England, and look at it there again. The maroon bowl directly in front of the jack on the centre line. Looking at playing down to punch that white one right through the gap. It just might get caught up in the...
Well, even if it does take out the other maroon bowl and keeps going, it's still valuable. They'd be 3, but at the moment they're holding nothing. It's all Australia at the moment holding shot, but England have got 3 seconds. There we are. That's the view from the bowler's mat. A little bit of pace.
Certainly playing with weight.
Yeah, here it goes. He's got it. He's got it. Oh, he gets the jack, and it does go out of play. So at least they've gone from 1 down to 1 up, I think, when they spot the jack. So the blue bowl belongs to England.
Yes, that was the blue bowl of Andy Napper. We see it here again. The jack was just edged and it goes out. Now Andy Napper was drawing to the head, and then they saw it was heavy, so they started to encourage it to go further, and that's what they were looking at, trying to get it to cover the spot at the back. So Australia got a couple of second shots.
So he's got options here. That will draw, obviously.
I think you draw you first.
They've got 2 seconds.
Yes, I think it's just really
Draw,
a draw.
yeah.
That's
but getting round those. Maybe play the backhand here.
I don't know.
No, he's going forehand.
I dare say if he's a little bit tight on the forehand, he's got his own bowl to turn.
Yeah.
It is the hand that is taking the bigger draw. Chasing it down, Aaron Sheriff.
Clear the road, mate.
The other players are starting to show a bit of interest in it as well.
Get it 2 rolls.
Oh, hard luck. That's still England. They promoted it just slightly. So England holding 1, but 3 seconds Australia, and Sheriff has the last bowl. Paxton goes to the mat now, holding shot.
1 bowl each left.
So backhand for Paxton to just get in there into the draw, obviously, but also to counter Sheriff's last ball.
Well, he needs to get another ball handy because Australia have got 3 second shots.
He doesn't want to get tied up in those short ones, and he hasn't. He doesn't want to get tied up in that one. He hasn't. He's drawn it. Oh, no, just very good position, though.
Gee, it wandered a long way through, didn't it?
Yeah.
Great try, mate. Great try.
Well, Australia got a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
They'll look at playing the blue ball through, I think.
So playing onto their own, possibly, and punching it through. It just depends what Sheriff can see.
Oh,
He
ideally
can see the white and his one, but he'll be able to see that blue one quite clearly from where he is. There we are.
That's the view he gets now. He wants to have a look at that blue one. If
The one
he's
on the right.
slightly tight, he gets onto his own bowls. If he's underneath those, he may get the jack. So blue bowl is the one that he wants to remove on his forehand, playing with good ditch weight.
Here we go. Last bowl on the 15th end. One down on the head. What does Sheriff produce? Oh, whisker in it. Shot to England, and it's tied up at 12 all. One blue lollipop held up by Kate Bassett, who's been doing the job all throughout this men's triples final. And it is in the hands of Jamie Walker now. That's the jack being sent down. 16th end being played. 16th of 18. We'll have medal presentations after this for the previous final today, the women's 4, with the gold, silver and 2 bronze medals being presented. And 12 all. If it stays like that, of course, or not stays like that, but they're tied at the end. It'll be an extra end to find a winner. Walker continuing his consistency at lead.
Hold, buddy.
Lester also.
Walker.
He likes it, doesn't he?
Hand swing, mate. Hand swing. Shot.
There you jack, mate.
Yes, all 6 players have been steady throughout.
I need another metre. Come on, I need another metre, says Lester. No, he doesn't. He needs nothing more. Look at this. It's one of New Zealand's famous voices of bowls over the years, Ian Birch. Ian Birch at the bowls.
Naps. Go.
High, mate. What's a high?
High, buddy. Start.
Now,
A lot of
this is
swing on
going
that
to the
hand, isn't
end
there?
where they found it struggling.
Yes.
Struggle. Here's Ian, an outstanding devotee of bowls over the years. Former president of New Zealand Bowls, and chatting to him last night about his first ever results. He did for 1ZB in Auckland
Well played, mate.
back in the
Great shot.
60s.
Don't change it, buddy.
He went on to do numerous reports and commentaries from national bowls and other major events around the country.
Touch ball pace.
Yeah, it just looks to be a hard hand to play the exact shot there. Swinging a lot.
Mate. Foot off.
It's very quick. Casey with his last ball. Australia holding, well, got at least one. Barry Lester bowls. Casey.
Oh, some really excellent bowls.
Well, that's where he wanted it too, just to get some cover there.
So Australia holding maybe what, 3 there, maybe 2 anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Margin for error down that side.
It's 12 all. We're playing the 16th. So 2 ends to play after this, and it's 12 all. The 2 skips have yet to play their 2 bowls.
A lot of discussion amongst the English team here, and I think they're asking Paxton to attack. Definitely 1 down, and he is on the drive.
One man, mate.
Oh, he's rattled it up, and the result has gone their way. England now holding a couple, 1 at least. A blue bowl closest to the jack is the shot, obviously. There's more to come, of course.
The result of that was just amazing. Jack didn't move much at all, just moved sideways. So definitely the 1 shot to England, possibly 2.
So they've gone from 2, maybe 3 up on that head to 1 down, maybe 2 down, or definitely 2 down. Sheriff, this 31-year-old who's been playing for Australia for a long time, one of their most outstanding players from the Ettalong Bowling Club in Sydney, Australian singles champion, gold medalist here in the 4s in 2012. Not here, but in Adelaide at the World Championships.
Here's Sheriff looking to play with weight, get a catch on the shot bowls or movement back of the jack. What's actually happened at the other end is he's got a bowl. It's covered the 2-metre spot. Now they're looking as to who may have the next one closest to that spot. England doesn't want to be dropping bundles.
So you can see the closest. Here we go. Now, where is it? Where's the tee? Way down here. So
Sheriff bowl.
Yeah. So the tee there. So Sheriff's last bowl is closest to that, the tee, if the jack is respotted. Now that will put doubt in the mind of Paxton, and do they just cover that? They're holding 2. Or do you just play your own game and say, I can draw a 3rd here?
Well, if they definitely got 2, I think that's going to be the thing in their mind as to whether they've definitely got 2 or not.
Looks like 2 there, but we just can't tell exactly. But I'll be saying 2. And you know how good my eye is, Terry.
You've always been a good judge.
Yeah.
Not always of bowls.
The man who's come into discussion here is John Bell. As we mentioned, he's won a couple of 4s world titles for England. Here we are. Covering the spot.
Yep, certainly looked to be.
Oh, ditch. Well, a lot of time to think about it.
Yeah, mate. Yep.
So that will give Sheriff a spring in his step.
Yeah, I think he'll look at driving the 2 bowls.
Well, he's got that.
He's got the spot covered.
Yeah.
Removes the 2 bowls and doesn't touch any of his own. He's got a couple of shots. Remove one of the bowls, he reduces the count.
Away he goes.
2 balls.
One takes 1 out. I think they knew they were 2 down. It is just 1. He's taken 1 out, and England get the 1 shot. And going into the second to last end, England are in front by 13-12. It wasn't far off taking both. Away women's fours gold medalists sitting there watching this anxiously. Jack goes down again. England have the mat. So England scored first at 2-0. They were after the first end. They didn't get the lead again until the 10th when they picked up a 3 and it went to 9-6. They went to 10-8 and then that 4 on the 13th for Australia gave them the lead, which they hold for 3 ends. And now after 16, we're playing the 17th of 18 ends. It's 13-12. It's been close, it's been tense, and it remains that way.
Bro. Well played here, mate. Great opener, Snelly.
Full ball through, mate. Full draw. What you got now, mate? And again. Good. Real good.
Hurry. Hurry. Come on, mate, a little more. Down. Down.
There you go, mate. Just over a length, working up to it. Out.
The Leeds have completed their bowls on this, the second
Up
last
now, mate.
end.
Up good. Shut.
Has
Same idea as him, mate. You
Andy
gotta land on
Napper.
Snelly's good. Yeah, land this.
played his first bowl. England leading by 1, 13-12. It's been tight throughout. The biggest margin was away back on the 10th end when England picked up a 3 to lead by 9-6.
Change something up here, mate.
Hurry, Case.
Down a little.
Well played,
Well
mate.
played, mate. Hammer.
Good ball from Casey.
Don't lose a great deal, mate. Landing one's very good.
Options for England just to land on shot bowls. Always give the bowler a chance here. Chasing it down, looking at it intently.
Great. And swing now. Shot. Great shot, buddy.
Get it over, mate.
It's a good ball.
It's a good bowl.
Where's your target?
Probably second shot, that bowl. Definitely one to Australia.
Good for you.
Come on, Case. All you got.
Down to the blue, isn't it?
Okay.
Pretty good shot, that.
Well, players are having a close look as to which bowl is the second shot.
Mine beat Barris.
Neither team will be wanting to drop any sort of multiples on this end.
Yes, you might wonder why they're taking such a lot of time to discuss it, but there's a lot at stake here. It's the difference between a gold and a silver medal, or more importantly, the title of world champion or runner-up.
A lot of discussion at the moment amongst the English side. Australia definitely holding the one shot. As you can see it there, the red disc. The arrow bowl, the green bowl. As Paxton returns to the mat. sure he'll be on his backhand, just playing with similar weight to what Napa played, looking for.
Just wanting to be absolutely sure here. He's just backhand. Australia holding one.
Blame the first bit, mate.
England one up on the board.
Slips.
Walker's getting excited.
Steady to bend.
Walker's got it. He says, I've got it. You've got it. You've done it. Great shot. Under pressure. Robert Paxton.
Yes, he's played some great bowls in this game, and that was certainly no exception. He was definitely one down, and we can see it here, always tracking with the encouragement of his team members to get the bowl square, and they certainly did.
Well, I was watching Jamie Walker. He raced off down that rink as if it was the gold medal winning shot. It was an important shot without doubt. But when we look back at the other end again, we'll see that there's still 3 bowls to be played. 2 of them by Aaron Sheriff, 1 by Robert Paxton.
What now?
There they go.
Sheriff.
Now it's a chance for Australia to take that time. The 3 of them gathered, looking, discussing. Sheriff is the man with the responsibility. Nothing seems to faze him.
Well,
he's just got to do the same.
Well, he can either do the same, or will he look at driving the shot bowl? That's what I'm wondering. Same. Sit the shot bowl. Oh
no!
Well,
he's having a go. Here it is. Sheriff misses with his first, but he has another. And now conflab time again.
Well, definitely one to England, and we can see the green bowl there, which is sitting right on the tee. Now that's going to be so important if this jack is killed, but I'm struggling to see if the jack's killed and that bowl is not affected in any way.
Yeah.
It's bound to be some following through of the driving bowl.
For Bowls England, the family and support team that's here. It's a tense time. People standing rather than sitting, feeling as if they're playing the shots. The same for Australia. It's a tense time.
It's certainly been one of the great finals, hasn't it?
Oh,
some skills here.
Paxton to draw again.
On the forehand this time.
Push it out, mate. Come on. Travel a bit. Run now. Travel more, mate. Run, Rob.
Seems it wide, but it does come home. He's with all the encouragement of the world to bring it home as well. Well, it's another one in the bunch, one might say. Sheriff, will he play the similar shot? We'll reassess and have a look at an alternative. All 3 players are having a conversation. 3 Australian players as to what Sheriff is going to play. So the decision's been made as he marches back to the mat. Looks to be going to play a similar shot. Reduce the weight. Reduce the weight. So having a look at getting the sit on the shot bowl. He's studying it. He stopped and studying it. Might be underneath, and it is. So it's 1 to England. They pick up the 4 singles in a row. They were 12-10 down and picked up 4 singles in a row to lead by 2 going into the last end. It's 14-12 to England.
Well, you wonder about bowls and how exciting it can get. And even if you're not a bowls fan, I think watching this, you understand that this is a contest between the 2 best teams in the world here in Christchurch. And they are under just the same pressure as any other sports people in any other sport. 14-12, last end.
Very good, mate. Very good, then.
Well, England have thrown a full-length jack right to the 2 metre mark. And Matt is probably 5 or 6 metres up the green. So the first bowl from England. Jamie Walker sits right at the back of the rink on the edge of the ditch. Australia need to pick up 2. 6 bowls to do it with.
That's 2 to produce an extra end.
Any swing would be good. Waits all fine, mate. Good.
This is top-class sport. Test of people under pressure.
Walker certainly seems to have less weight. It's just whether it'll come home. We've seen at times a slightly wide on that hand. It just doesn't come back.
Weight's good, mate.
That was another example of it. 2 bowls sitting out wide there.
Then Lester might just take a fraction off his green, and it's just as likely to slide across the centre line early. So it's a touch required.
Now, he's out that wider line
Yeah,
again.
yeah, and again it stays out.
Well, here's an example of it.
Let's have one of your best, buddy.
The thing being is that he's got 2 shots, but gee, the way Napa and Paxton have been playing.
So Napa places his right foot right to the edge of the mat when he delivers. So that's a finer line if he's got the weight.
Oh, he's got the weight. He's certainly inside the last 2 bowls.
Crowd really getting into this, sitting in perfect conditions now. The wind doesn't seem to be as blustery. It's full sunshine here. Mark Casey's gone much finer than either of the other bowlers, and that does cut across that centre line early. So tighter line, but just slightly too tight.
Yes, well, we haven't actually seen the jack here with the mat in this position, and players are just struggling to find the line. Once again, Napa looks to be on the wider line.
Yeah.
Hurry!
It's all the turn at the end there, doesn't it?
Oh.
Another foot away.
So his job's complete.
3 bowls for Australia left, 2 for England. England lead by 2. Gee, Casey looks to be on a tighter line again, but he's probably better weighted. Studies it. How far through is he going to go? Fell over.
Just shot. Enough. Great ball, Mark Casey.
Well, Aaron Sheriff will be pleased to see that bowl. He knows that he can go back. Hopefully Paxton falls over, he thinks, and I can draw another couple and win the game. Simple. I don't expect Paxton to fall over at all.
No, I think if we have a look at their faces at some stage, you'll see they both look really calm. Sheriff always does. Nothing changes much with Sheriff, no matter what's happening internally. This is a good line here. Is it going to come in? Or is it going to hang?
Line?
It's hanging.
See it hang here. Mark Casey was the only one that's got down the right line. So Sheriff can put the pressure on him now. Can he draw another shot? Put the pressure on Paxton. Gee, he looks to be pretty well pointed, doesn't he?
Doesn't he?
Depends on his weight. He can get inside those blue bowls.
What? No, not yet. That's still 1 to Australia.
1 bowl left each.
Paxton comes down. There's what he will look at. You see that white bowl of Casey's is the shot. It looks as though one of Napa's bowls, blue one, is second shot. That's the blue one just to the left of the jack. Even though the shadow's there, from the reaction of the Australians, they think that they haven't got second shot.
Yes, I think Jamie Walker indicated that They were just the one down.
Yeah.
Before Paxton took the walk down there. So, moment. Australia holding one. 14-12 behind. Last end.
Two up on the board at 14-12. Is this Paxton's last bowl of this triples final at the World Championships? World Bowls 2016 in Christchurch.
Well, he's certainly on a tighter line. I think he's too tight. This is what's happened here.
Yeah.
You get underneath the line and, gee, you head away. So
Sherriff has an opportunity here. They're holding shot. He's got his first bowl just in front of the second shot. There's a chance for him to get 3 out of this.
I'm sure they're looking at that option as well.
Yeah. Playing onto his previous bowl, which may well knock out the second shot of England. If he stays, it's a 3 to Australia.
Sheriff back to the mat with his last bowl. Looking to change his hand.
This for gold or silver, Australia. Sheriff loves it. Didn't work. It didn't work. They're still waiting, though. They're still looking to see if it's 2 or an extra end, 2 or just 1. They've taken out 2.
Taken out 2. Gee, he played it well, didn't he?
Oh, didn't he? So here's the measure. Is this going into an extra end, or is this the championship to Australia?
Sheriff is wandering back to the mat, and it's just the 2.
Just the 2. We've got an extra end. 14 all.
Well, gee, Sheriff gave it a fair crack at winning it on that end, didn't he? He played a magnificent bowl. And we see it again, gets onto there, and look, the other blue bowl rocked. He thought he had it out of the head as well. He'd taken that out of the head. He had the game won. Gee.
Well, he played it as we thought. And the result was almost perfect. We go to an extra end in the men's triples final at World Bowls 2016.
So
which team stands up to the pressure the better?
Well, England won the toss. They toss as to who goes first on the extra end, and I think England won the toss and have given it to Australia. So there's now a conference of the Australian players in the middle of the green as to what length of end we will play. It's been some great ends coming in this direction. We go right back to the very first one, the opening end of the game.
So the situation, of course, means that with England giving the mat to Australia, they'll get the last bowl.
Generally, most teams would do that. You win the toss, you would give it away. So Barry Lester, he will go back and lay the mat, deliver the jack, hopefully to where the team has discussed it should be. And each player with 2 bowls to finish the match.
The crowd's gone quiet. They can understand how important this last end is. And what a great fight back there from Australia. Well, they were in front for a lot of the match. They were up by 12-11 after 14 ends. Then it was 12 all. And then England singles on the 16th and 17th to be 14-12. Australia were holding 1 shot on that 18th end. Sheriff played the only shot really open to him and played it almost perfectly, but didn't score a 3 to win it, but scored a 2 to take it into the extra end. Barry Lester. The lead contest has been wonderful. This 34-year-old from the Mulgrave Country Bowling Club in Melbourne sends his first one down. And as he does so, Aaron Sheriff walks up to greet it, holds his hand out, says just a wee bit more green maybe, little inch or two of weight.
Oh,
I'm happy with that.
Pretty good opener. Pressure's on all players. It's a pretty good reply here too from Jamie Walker. Look at this. This is an outstanding bowl. Oh, some great stuff here.
A bit of room.
Yard down, one.
Wait.
What do I now,
2.5.
Aaron Sheriff standing there with his foot out there, indicating where he wants it.
Just indicating to Barry Lester where the jack is, the length of the jack, because it's on the mat. He won't be able to see where the jack exactly is. There's 2 bowls directly in front of it. Chasing it down too.
Change it! Change it!
Yes, he was hoping that he might have got a little bit of a rub off the front bowl. Not necessarily to get the shot, but to get it removed off the face of the head, so as it opens it up if Sheriff has to drive. A lot of discussion now. England holding the 1 shot. They'll certainly want bowls past the jack now. They don't want to leave anything at the side that Australia can catch on to, so it's important now for England just to get something past.
Swing that. No, you got it that far.
First time I've really seen
Build it up.
Walker looking slightly grumpy.
Yeah, see, it just went more wide than anything. I think they were certainly looking at having that weight, but
Yes, yeah, looking at the tee around that area.
yeah, tee or just past the jack.
Yeah.
So Casey, his first bowl, studying it intently as well, pretty much in the target area, isn't he?
It's Jack, it's Jack. It misses Jack.
Gee, I thought he had it then.
Down this side, you can play this hand.
On the right side and
Play
get
guard
out.
away and hit that ball. Second.
Yeah.
I think it's a change of hand here. I really
Just making
do.
that, mate. Get inside the green, you're good. Not a
Yes.
slip.
Go that side, give themselves a little bit of cover. Australia are looking at any movement of the jack. Gee, give it a lot of weight, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
The foot off, mate. Give me a nice close one.
Well, Aaron Sheriff wants something handy that he may be able to use.
Well, Casey, if he plays the same bowl again, is quite capable of taking the jack back to his own.
He's capable of drawing the shot, but I don't know if he's got enough weight.
No.
Stay on the centre.
It's a disappointing bowl. Never really gave it a chance. He was asked to take that little bit of weight off so as he could have something handy. Now he's fallen well short.
So standing on the mat, waiting for his teammates to arrive, is Andy Napper.
Yeah, Napper's talking to the coach down the other end while
Yeah.
the lead and the skipper discussing the options. England holding the 1 shot. Sheriff has got 2 bowls left to remedy the situation for Australia.
Yeah, it's just Andy Napper says, look, include me in the conversation. I'm playing the shot. So they hear him call and they say, oh, I forgot about you, Andy. You've still got 1 to play. Right. No.
Jamie Walker makes a huge contribution to it, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. He seems to be the most vocal of them all.
Yeah, generally the lead sort of stands back and be seen and not spoken to. Yeah.
He's certainly one of the young stars of England bowls at 24 years. He's in his 3rd year of bowling for England. And certainly those that we've spoken to here rate him extremely highly. And what we've seen from him justifies that faith.
So at the moment, it's England that hold the 1 shot. We can see it, the maroon bowl there directly in front of the jack. The Australian bowl's just in behind. So we have England discussing as to what or where do they want to put this bowl. They just don't want to build it up around near the jack. That's a big thing. I was surprised about this. I thought that, well, he's gone past.
Yeah.
I think he's getting away down the back again. Sort of like, I don't know what to play, so I'll throw my ball away down here.
No, I mean, a lot of discussion.
Yeah. Well, no time wasted with Aaron Sherriff.
No,
He
I was going to
knows what-
say, not really accepted procedure for him to be marching down while other players coming down having just delivered his ball, but he's on the mat. They're down by 1 on the head.
He's playing
It's
on the forehand.
14 all.
It's on the forehand. So what's he looking at? Dead draw on forehand.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think it'll come home, will it?
It's not going to be a mile away, though.
No, it's not.
Great effort. Yeah, he's got too
Falls
much.
in. I don't know. It looks further away when you view it from that angle.
You see Jamie Walker. He's wandered up the green and said, drop his mat on the, his rag on the green and said, put a bowl here. Looking to drop the into the pathway of Sherriff.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he does. He was indicating on the World Bowls logo 2/3 of the way up the green.
And that's where he's got Paxton playing to, I think. Sitting it up the green. I think
Not
he'd be a
quite
little
that
bit too,
far back, but
a little bit too narrow.
looking for a block, but that's not going to affect Sheriff's bowl.
I don't think so.
No, not a good option at all. It's 2 bowls we've seen from England, one going right back to the ditch, and that one, well, it's just a nothing bowl.
Aaron Sherriff, the last bowl for him. Playing with weight, looking for the shot bowl. Studying intently.
He's got it. Oh, goodness me. He misses, and the England delight is obvious.
Gee, I thought he had it then. Oh, I think he thought he had it as well.
Casey was jumping. He thought Sherriff had got it, but Walker and Napa and Paxton saw that he hadn't, and this extra end final in the men's triples has gone the way of England, who win this for the first time since 1980. England 15, Australia 14, and one of the most riveting finals you could imagine.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was a steady game right throughout from all 6 players, and they are quite emotional, the English team, particularly Jamie Walker, on winning this event. He played steady right throughout, but it was Paxton earlier on who played some magnificent recovery shots, and they had a spell in around about the 8th, 9th and 10th end where they scored 5 shots, and then on the 14th through to the 17th they scored single shots on all of those ends to go out to a 14-12 lead. But a magnificent bowl on the last end from Aaron Sherriff secured the draw for the extra end, and it was all right down to the last bowl played by Aaron Sherriff, who unfortunately slipped past the shot bowl to give the win to England.
Well, quite a stunning final this was. Absolutely brilliant. And England skip doesn't get much chance to celebrate with his team because he's already joined Stephen McIver. Robert Paxton.
Riveting, simply riveting final. The first time since 1980 England have won this particular discipline in bowls. You were confident from the start. You've done it.
Yeah, so we've been playing well all week, really, and kept it in there. It was a great game for the players, the spectators and the TV.
What was it like when we see Aaron Sherriff on that last bowl trying to, when you go into an extra end?
To be fair, I wasn't keen from the mat end. I thought he had it. I mean, he was a fraction away. I mean, they play fantastic, and they'll be back in force for the fours next week and the singles with Aaron.
This is your first World Championship as a team, and you're now world champions. Does that belie belief?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great achievement. Obviously, you come here to do the best you can. The first section to get out of the group, and then you go from there. And say it's just been a dream week so far.
We were talking to John Bell, and he said these surfaces, these conditions are alien. Not so alien anymore, are they?
No, I say the speed's not the problem. It's just the wind, really. Because I mean, we've got the indoor greens back home, similar pace, but it's just the windy conditions. But thankfully, this week we haven't been blessed with too much wind.
Does World Men's Triples Champion sound nice?
Doesn't sound too bad at all.
Congratulations, go and enjoy.
Thank you.
Well, an unbelievable. And we saw some brilliant highlights today.
Certainly so, and that was the end where England were 5 down, and Paxton He cut it back to 2 with his last bowl. He was outstanding in the early stages of this game, and there was the bowl that reduced the count for Australia to 2. He followed it up in the next end when, once again, Australia were up, and then it was Paxton who had the drive, driving out the bowl. Some magnificent bowls there from both the skips, and it was 3 that was ultimately picked up as we carried on throughout the game. Sheriff was on target as well, killing the end. And it was respotted then to Australia picking up the 1 shot. And then again, they picked up another 2 as they moved forward. Steady bowls right throughout in this final match, and it was Aaron Sheriff who played a magnificent bowl to add to the count, and Australia picking up a 4 to go to a 12-10 lead, but Paxton wasn't to be outdone. He played a magnificent bowl to get the 1 shot. Sheriff in reply, the last end, thought he had the game won. The blue bowl didn't quite move, but tied up the match to go to the extra end, and here we saw the final bowl of Aaron Sheriff slip past the shot bowl. It was England who took out the win on the extra end. It was Paxton, Napper and Walker, the gold medal.
What a way to finish day number 1 of the finals, with England winning their first ever men's triples final since 1980. And the women, of course, will pick up the silver for the 4s. Stick around with us, folks, because the medal presentation of the women's 4s and the men's triples is not too far away. Live from Burnside here in Christchurch.